there we go.
Hey, stream mates. Everyone's getting their notifications right now. Do you guys get notifications on any? Since we're on my YouTube page streaming, I get a notification that's like Jesse and Tati are streaming right now. So that's a reminder to. Say what?
I usually get the one from Facebook.
Oh yeah, good. So everybody, turn your notifications on. Dude, I don't know what it is. So I just got a text from a neighbor down the street. He went, "Hey everybody, March is here. It's my favorite month, and my birthday's on Saturday. Usually the kids play out front with their bikes and skateboards in front of my house on Fridays in March. So this Friday we're going to be doing that, and we're thinking of jazzing it up with drinks and pizza." Do you know that all you have to say to me is you're going to jazz it up a little bit? That is to me like, yep. Are you jazzing something up? I'm there if you're going to jazz it up. I love that line right there. I don't know what it is. Anyways.
What's the jazz part?
That's Chris, too. That's the guy who came to my house dressed up like LL Cool J.
Oh, yeah. He sounds like he would jazz it up.
Yeah. He jazzes most everything up.
Yeah, he's a funny dude.
Didn't he wear the lightsaber at the golf tournament a couple years ago too?
Yes, he was. Yes, he did. And he every once in a while sends me a video of him practicing his lightsaber in his garage in the dark.
Nice.
It's crazy. What's going on, Edward? Oh yeah, here comes those notifications. Let's go, stream mates. Bring it. What kind of glasses are those? Are those blenders, Tati?
They're not.
They're not prescription. I know that.
When I take off my fake glasses now, I squint my eyes to make it a little more believable.
That's like my friend used to park with the handicap placard in his car and then limp away from his car every time, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, dude, not
terrible!
Come on."
I wouldn't go that far. This is Miniso Life. I bought it at the Miniso store in Escondido Mall.
Nice.
Sometime.
Escondido Mall?
That's right.
Oh, you mean North County Fair?
Isn't that the Escondido Mall?
No. The Escondido Mall is
Isn't UTC? Isn't that Westfield? Not UTC.
No, it's definitely that's the mall in Escondido, but there's actually a place called the Escondido Mall, and it's like not a mall anymore.
Is that the one that's by Ventana?
No, see, that's even too new. The Escondido Mall was in the center of Escondido, and it had a carousel, like a literal carousel that you could get on and ride. And they had a movie theater connected to it that was $1.50 movies. And what they would do is they would take, for some reason, and I didn't know this was available, they would take movies that were no longer in theaters. And remember the in-between point between movie theater and DVD? There was always like a little time. They would have a movie theater where they would put those movies going to DVD in their theater for $1.50 during that window. And you could go and watch the about to hit DVD movies at the Vineyard.
And they probably got him for super cheap too, since they didn't get him as like first run.
Yes, I'm sure. That's where I saw Sliver with my mom.
Oh yeah.
Sliver. Ooh, for $1.50, huh? I love that your mom brought you to watch Sliver, because I brought DJ to watch all kinds of movies that were probably not for him. Edward, I just want you to know that that's my goal in life, is to have glasses that look like they're a Snapchat filter glasses, but they're in real life.
They're really good. I gotta say, they're really, really good glasses.
Be here next week. I'll have another one that you'll absolutely love, and it looks like a Snapchat filter glasses, but it's not.
Ooh.
So when I sneeze or move my head, it doesn't disappear from my face. It's actually in my face.
The real deal.
Let's do a little radio test here. We'll get on the air here in a minute 30, and I will comment heavily on your glasses and tell everyone to go to the live stream, and let's see if our numbers kick up. Because I feel like glasses are like people love some good glasses. Hey, Thor. Did you hang out with Ray the other day, Thor?
Should do it.
To know.
To
know.
Oh, baby,
We started the
Oh, Jared can't believe you didn't recognize him.
Whoa. Did that really happen?
I don't recognize you. I only communicate via this.
Maybe you didn't make the best impression,
that
Jared.
we're verbally communicating on. It's all right. For whatever reason, Jared always wants to come at me. So.
Well, he was. Did you have your pressure wash on in the background, and she should have known just by the sound of that? What was it, Jared? Like what?
The
What
amount
was
of
it?
people who call, I'm like, hey, I try to be nice to everybody.
By the way, Shelly, your hair is looking amazing right now. It looks very light colored. Like if I am the Asian of all Asians today, it's showing, and you are definitely like that brown that you're going with right now. I love it.
Thanks.
All
It's
right.
natural.
I know.
Yeah.
This is natural too. I'm very very Filipino. Don't fuck around, okay?
Yeah, no, I blew dry
yeah.
my hair the other day, and it's like
94.1 Jesse and Tati in the morning. It's the 90s at 9, and we've got our live stream going right now, which means you can hear us live on the radio here in San Diego, or jump online. Go to jesseandtati.com. A lot of people are very shocked that those really cool glasses you're wearing right now are not prescription.
Well, not that. That's not very shocking. I've been wearing non-prescriptions for years. It's shocking. It's not disappearing from my face when I move my head. These are actual glasses.
Everyone thinks your glasses are a filter. You have to see Tati's glasses she's wearing right now on our live stream.
This is in a real life, okay?
So,
This is not fake. This is in a real life.
oh, you're going to have to end up giving the link on where you bought those. I know it. All right, go to jesseandtati.com. Jump on our live stream. Coolio. Yes.
Dude, the winds are blowing. The winds are blowing, and those trees back there were going. So we about to get some rain for sure.
yeah. Do you see
Oh,
that?
yeah. Hey, guys, I saw nothing but blue skies when I first came in. It's not like that anymore.
Oh yeah, no. I've been watching like through the window, like over your shoulder there, Jess, and just watching it go from like I could just see the gray coming. And I got really excited.
Yeah.
I'm a big weather nerd, so I'm like,
I actually don't like it when it's raining on our way in or when I wake up and it's raining because as a kid, I swore if you woke up in the middle of the night and it was raining, or you woke up in the morning and it was raining or whatever, you had this true feeling in your stomach of joy because you knew that it was going to be a rainy day schedule at school. And it was just like awesome. And so I almost still get the joy in my stomach of like, oh, it's raining. Today's not going to be normal, but then it is going to be the same. So it's like almost like I'd rather it be like this. I come into work and then it start raining than me wake up when it's raining.
I get that. At the end of the day, you just know that there's gonna be an awesome nap on the other side of things for you because it's like napping weather. Or for me, I'm like, what soup am I gonna have for dinner tonight? Like that's where my head goes. Like, where am I gonna get ramen tonight?
Yeah.
I made gumbo the other night. I wanted to bring some into you, Jesse, because we recently had it was jambalaya, not gumbo. It was jambalaya.
Yep. I'm done with gumbo though too. That's a little bit more soupy, right? Isn't gumbo a little bit more soupy?
Well, do you remember when I was like judging what you and Marvin? It was more so Marvin, but I totally forgot that you ordered the same thing as Marvin. By the way, I look like SNL Little Hands. And so what Marvin was eating and not what you were eating, but I made gumbo and I thought about we were eating jambalaya or what, and that jambalaya was very like. But I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to, like, I wasn't trying to be mean to the restaurant or whatever.
Of course. And the people eating the food. That's right.
We're about the people eating the food, let's be honest. She'll tell you what she thinks about that.
That's true. That's true.
So I made gumbo the other night and I was like, yo, this is what it's supposed to taste like. And of course, my husband, who loves me and likes to fan my, make me feel good, he was like, you should bring some in and have Shelly and Jesse try it. And I was like, but the soup evaporated. You know how like into the rice? Because it's rice. With the rice. I was like, I forget it. It's something you have to like make, which is why the restaurant that we were at, that's why it didn't have that flavorful, I want to say, is because you almost have to make sure you're kind of assembling for them so that it's not like the rice soaked up all the juice.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I get that. I get that. I love that stuff no matter what.
I told Ray that he's supposed to.
Damn, dude, you see that right there? Look at that. Look at it on the screen right now. My heart is breaking live right now on the web stream right now. I'm having a live heartbreak right now on the web stream.
Why? Because you're running on a podcast?
Well, I'm trying to start the official Escondido podcast, and I'm running into some roadblocks. And now I'm finding out one of the roadblocks is there's like 4 of them going on right now, which means
but everybody's got to have an angle. You just got to come up with an angle.
Here's my angle. Every one of those podcasts needs to invite me on their podcast so I can cancel it live. Start mine.
Wow. Gee. Titled.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm super sad I'm late. Damn it. See what happens when I try to get tough, Tati? It doesn't work. I try as hard as I can. Everyone gets grossed out by me.
Yikes.
It's not fun. I just tried to get tough and put my foot down on the live stream.
How weird.
And Tati didn't like it and was grossed out by it. I can't do it like you. Sometimes you put your foot down and everyone goes, yeah, I'm with you. I don't have that vibe. I don't know what happened.
If you're Mr. Nice Guy with me, it's just like, that's normal.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, I want to be more like that. Whatever. Jesse and Tati. I took my chair.
Oh my gosh, you're so ridiculous.
We're on the live stream right now. Say hi. Search jesseandtati.com. You can go to our website, see our live stream. Everything happening on the air is happening off the air too. So we wrap up the 90s at 9 right there. And I found this article. Think about this. Some of the movie stars in the 90s. What if they were cast in movies that are big right now in the 2000s?
Okay, so who were those 90s stars that would be a Marvel?
Okay, so that's what I found. It said if the Captain America movies were made in the 1990s, Kevin Costner would be Captain America.
Okay. I thought it was Bruce Willis, but that's 80s, huh?
No, he would be 90s too. That's a good pick. See, Bruce Willis is included in none of these.
Is Freddie Prinze Jr. on that list anywhere?
No, he's not. But Demi Moore is Black Widow on this list.
Okay.
If Marvel. Now, Nick Fury, which is Samuel L. Jackson's character.
Right.
Everyone is saying if that was casted in the 90s, that's Morgan Freeman.
I
don't know about that one.
Morgan Freeman been that age since like the 70s.
Yeah,
He's looked like
I agree.
Forever. Like that is a consistent.
And you have to consider too that the voice that goes along with that character, and Morgan Freeman. I mean, we all know his voice. So would he actually?
Would it be able to pull that off? Yeah, I don't know. It's saying that Will Smith would have played Falcon, which who plays that now? Is that Anthony Mackie? Is that who plays that one now? Yeah, Will Smith in that spot. Okay, that's all right. If you go to the Iron Man movies, if those were cast in the 1990s, this one's a little bit more interesting. Like Bane or whatever. They're saying Dolph Lundgren would have been the best Bane of all time.
I don't know who Dolph is.
He's a rock star, right?
No, Dolph Lundgren. He's the big Russian dude that was in the Rocky movie. Remember the big Russian guy he fought?
Yes.
Blonde hair.
There's yeah.
They're saying he would have been best in the role of Bane.
Yes, for sure.
I feel like to go back to the Samuel L. Jackson thing, one of our stream mates, Logan, just piped up, and I kind of agree with him that Samuel L. Jackson could still have played that role back in the 90s. Like some of these people are still like, actually.
Yeah. That's right. And by the way, you can comment on what we're doing on the air on our live stream as well. Thanks for the reminder there, Shelly. JesseandTati.com. So Pepper Potts, remember Gwyneth Paltrow played Iron Man's girl or whatever.
Yes.
They're saying that is Halle Berry's job if this was casted in the 90s.
Halle Berry, you know what the thing is though? She was Storm and she was already in the 90s.
She could I was thinking she could be an actual superhero more than anything.
I've never seen any of these.
You've never seen any of these, producer Shelley?
I heard that, so nobody heard it.
I agree. Goodness, what do you? Because everyone thought, what does she watch?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, but it does say if Iron Man was cast in the 90s, it would be a Tom Cruise movie, everybody. Instead of Robert Downey. I'll put that list up. These are kind of fun to go through, especially if you love 90s stuff. Go to Jesse and Tati on Facebook or join us right now on our live stream, jesseandtati.com. Oh, yeah, friends. So what did we think? Hey, Patty, love you, appreciate you.
Hi, Patty.
Patty, don't you agree? All right, this is Patty. Patty's the one that runs a couple of the big Escondido Facebook pages. Patty, don't you agree that there's really only one official person that should be, doing an Escondido podcast? Someone who's in broadcasting for the past 20 years, lifetime Escondido in.
Well, that's the thing about podcasts is now given, it's almost like social media. It's given the everyday person who isn't a broadcast person the ability to be able to have a platform to,
And that is what's heartbreaking, Tati. You're nailing it right now.
So
why did I spend all this time on this craft? Why did I do this? Why did I waste my time?
So as someone who's also full of myself, let me jump in on this, Jesse. I remember that there was a time when people were starting their .com or their like podcast type shows, and they were calling it radio, and they were like, oh, I'm a radio personality, and it wasn't. It was like a .com, and I remember feeling some type of way because I was like, hold on, that's my profession, and I had to work my way up, and how could these people just buy a .com and decide they're radio personalities? And I remember feeling some type of way.
Yeah.
And then I realized that our form of radio comes in cars. Like, we are not even an option. Whereas if you got people listening to you and they had to type in what your radio show was, who's more badass? And I was like, let me respect the person with their .com, because people seek them out.
Yeah, you got to go find that. You're right.
Right. And then I think I said that to a fellow radio personality, like terrestrial, and they were like, yeah, but don't people have to punch on your dial on the they still choose you and pick you? I was like, oh, okay, let me not discount what I'm doing over here.
That's true.
But podcasts, for sure, I think you should have an Escondido podcast, but you surprised how many other people probably have. And you guys should all be guests on each other's podcasts, because everyone can win and everyone can eat.
Oh gosh, Patty, you're hurting my feelings. Everyone can be a podcaster, but can everyone be you? That's the ticket. Be the best you, and people will listen. Okay, so now what you're saying, Patty?
Will you adopt me? Be my mom.
Nicest ever.
Patty's saying I just need to start my Esco thing and just kill it and just leave all the other ones in the dust. That's what Patty's saying. Yeah. Okay, I like that.
And Patty has nothing to do with age. I just meant that what you said, I wish I could say as a mother. You can be my sister if you want. You can be my sister. You can be my cousin. We're the same age anyway.
Patty, you're going to have to be a part of this. You're going to have to be part of the promotion of this, because you are going to get a little bit of credit here for your idea. So get ready. It's coming. I'll send you the logo when I get it, so we could create some buzz together. Anyways,
you sound like my mom. My mom always does that. Anyways,
my dad used to do that. His Mexican way was, que caray. So anyways, what's going on? Like, he used to say like a Mexican, like a Spanish thing that meant basically like, anyways, what else is going on? Okay, so Tati and I were having a quick conversation off the air before we started, and I wanted to bring some of the stuff up because I did a bunch of research on it yesterday. I found some of the most interesting statistics about this. Tati and I were talking about basically having kids too young and that whole thing, and what happens to a person when they really make very adult decisions at 16, 17, decisions that end up affecting them long into their adult life. And is there a way that, we can get in the way of some things that we do as very young adults that affect us forever, and blah, 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 blah. And so I went home thinking about it, and I thought, children is the wrong subject there to talk about that, because that's a whole unique thing on its own. So I went and looked up a bunch of statistics about divorce and how specifically they play out to young people versus old people. And it was really, really, really interesting. And then I found a list of the industries that have the highest divorce rates and the ones that don't. And that was crazy interesting. So I wanted to bring a few of these things up right now. And like I say, this is me saying, gosh, wouldn't it be easier for us as adults who make very adult decisions as young adults, and I'll give you an example of myself. I'm still paying, I'm 41 years old. I still pay on a credit card that I charged up when I was like 22 years old. It's been 20 years later, and I'm still paying off what I did at 22 on that credit card to this day. I bought a home when I was 23 years old, short sold that when I lost it in the housing market. I had terrible credit for 7-8 years. I couldn't even open a credit card for a big time. Once again, that was a decision I made in my early 20s. There's just a lot of things that I feel like we're able to do at that young age, and sometimes we get ourselves in a lot of trouble. So as it pertains to divorce, I thought this was some of these stats I found were really interesting. First of all, 48% of those who marry before the age of 18 are likely to divorce within 10 years. That's compared to 25% of those who marry after the age of 25. It's a big, humongous difference right there.
Yeah.
Now look at this. If you get married between 20 and 25, First stat I gave y'all was 18. People that get married between 20 and 25, 65% get divorced. That is insane. So my thought with that, if you think about it in this way, is why is it so easy for us as young adults to make that decision, just the marriage one? Why? Because it costs about $4 to get a marriage license, and anyone can do it. But what people forget when they're getting that marriage license, they're getting married in that moment, is they're probably going to buy a car and start having kids and do all these things that once y'all get divorced and you have a 65% chance of getting divorced, now you're going to deal with what you did there for a long part of your adult life, and you'll probably resent the hell out of it. Not probably, but it could happen. So anyway, so my thought is, why don't we make, if you're before 25 years old, why don't we make it very expensive to get married? What if it's a $10,000 fee you have to pay the city of San Diego to get your marriage license if you're getting married under the age of 25? That doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you have to be really, really into the idea of making a very adult decision before you actually make it.
Okay. So.
Yeah, hit me.
So, just an FYI, it is 2021 and a lot of young folks are not even getting married anymore. They're not looking at life as like how we looked at it, Jesse, when we were
totally.
They're not even thinking about, hey, Steph, they're not even thinking about it like marriage. They're thinking about it as in how are we going to economically. So no, they wouldn't pay some.
That's what I'm saying. Because I know that our kids, like Savannah, her head is screwed on differently than mine was when it comes to finances. And she doesn't understand them as an adult, but she knows to not make so many stupid decisions. And I think that you're right. What you're saying is if you put $10,000 limit to get a marriage license, because these kids now are smarter, they are going to listen to that and go, I don't know. They
already don't feel like marriage is something they need to do anyway. So even if you try to make it harder for them as far as like money wise, like there's a lot of people who feel like marriage is like secondary to buying a house. And we talked about this, whereas like the Gen Z generation, they're like, well, why spend money on a wedding or on getting married when we can just live with each other? There's now common law marriages, which is if you're with each other for this amount of time anyway, you actually have to still split whatever you guys made in those years anyway. So marriage is kind of like I don't know, I feel like it's not even something people are talking about anymore. So
well, I'll tell you this, those stats I gave you were taken in 2020.
About people who got married. Well, yeah.
All those stats I just gave you, those are up to 2020. So while I do agree that the kids are smarter, the stats are still saying that people are still doing that a lot. So while what you're saying is right, it's not playing out like that in real life. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how old the people were who were in the survey. So, I mean, it's not like they're surveying a bunch of 18-year-olds. They're surveying people. And
no, this isn't a survey. These are stats taken from, because divorce is a public thing. You can go online and look up, divorce.
These are public records.
Public records. This is specific stats from public records of divorce statistics, but these are as of 2020. And so if you figure 60% of couples that are still getting married between 20 and 20, or 65% between 20 and 25 are still getting a divorce. That means they still are doing it way more than maybe they should.
Our streammates have a lot of ways.
Yeah. So what do you guys take? So Mel McKay, I was married at 26, divorced by 29. I think it's an interesting idea.
Thor was 22. His wife was 21. They're still together.
Common law is not a thing in California anymore.
Thank you, Valerie. I'm glad
Stephanie
you said that.
Leonic, I went to high school with Stephanie. She got married really young, had kiddos pretty young. What you like the thought there, Steph, too? Because Steph is currently, they're not married anymore. Sorry to put your biz out there, Steph. Love you. I don't think you mind. Edward, Armenian dads want their kids to marry quick. If you all want to get married, I got you covered. I'm an ordained. Oh, me too, bro.
I was 28 when I got married. So I have a friend from high school. She was 18 when she got married, and they're still together, and they have 3 kids, and they're doing great. So it's nice to see the numbers that you have, like from actual. And this is in California.
This is
Or
the
is it
United
US?
States.
Well, and
United States.
to not only putting the bounty on, getting a marriage license and stuff like that, but also the amount of growth that happens from 20 to 25, because you are a
As a
completely
person.
different human from age 20 to 22 than 22 to 25. And so the number is going to be higher there because there's always that growing apart as opposed to growing together. And those are like really crucial times. I feel like your entire 20s are really crucial.
Yeah,
By the way,
and
if anybody needs any legal advice on here and divorces, thank you, Stephanie. You just remind me. Please message me. I can help you out.
yes, Tati. Yes, Tati has something special going that can answer a lot of these questions. To be quite
That was
honest
my
with you.
quick plug right there. Here,
So
questions.
So the one stat I want to leave with this specific part of the conversation is, and this is the one stat left, is that no matter how many people say what,
Sorry, go Jesse.
no matter how many people get divorced, no matter what, the average age right now of a person getting divorced in America is 30 and a half. So everyone is getting divorced from age, whatever, to all the way up to whatever. But the average age, the most people, the average are about 30 years old. So think about how much more life you have to live. And now you have this thing where you're locked into alimony forever. Or maybe you lose a house that you saved 10 years working your 20s. Now things have changed that much. Now you're like playing catch up for the rest of your very young life because you're only 30 years old. Right. Okay, so now I wanted to move to other things that I thought was, oh my God, this is so crazy. I found the professions with the highest divorce rates and the professions with the lowest ones. Go ahead.
I always heard that it was police officers with
highest
divorce rates.
No, this is going to shock you. I'm going to give you the top. You are going to see a theme. And Tati, you are going to 100% sniff out this theme right here. Highest divorce rates. I'll give you like the top few. Highest 43% divorce rate, dancers. Say what?
This is the new Maroon 5. Actually, I'll move this on. Never mind. Sorry. Panicky moment.
That's okay.
But after this,
yeah.
Thank you.
I will. Okay. Top divorce rate. And this is from a national study. Top divorce rate, dancers. And it doesn't say anything specific of what that is. It just says dancers. So you could be a backup dancer for Britney Spears and you're on tour 9 months of the year. Or I think it could mean a million different things.
Right.
Dancers, 43% divorce rate. Bartenders, 39% divorce rate. Okay. Massage therapists, 38% divorce rate. Mm-hmm. Gaming cage workers. Gaming cage workers.
Gaming cage.
That's a good question.
Okay.
34% divorce rate. But here's the thing. Right below that, 31% gaming service workers. So there is a high divorce rate for people who work in the gaming industry. Next on the list, food and tobacco machine operators have a 30% divorce rate. Huh. Telephone operators. So that's the high level. I want to go to the lower levels and I want you guys to see the theme. 14% divorce rate, law enforcement. Remember, the top was dancers at 43. So law enforcement's at 14%. Doctors and surgeons, 9%. Mechanical engineers, 9%. Medical scientists, 9%. Legislators, 8%. Dentists, 7%. Optometrists, podiatrists, 4%. Agricultural engineers, 1%. Do you guys see the theme here?
No, I'm gonna throw out finances. I'm gonna throw out money and
what do you mean?
Well, so jobs that high-paying jobs want to keep the money. Exactly, Steph. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's finances. When you make money, you don't want to split it.
When you have money and you're not working paycheck to paycheck and you're not worried about it, it looks like that is something that helps a marriage. Who knows if those are the reasons why? Who knows what the reason for that is? But what a difference from a bartender at 40% as opposed to an engineer, which is like 8%. It's crazy, dude.
I think that a lot of times people take into account money more than they do love, right? Losing money than losing love. It's like, oh,
yes,
we don't have each other no more. See you later. We both brought nothing to this as far as but when it's like finances, it's like, ooh, let's work this out, or let's figure this out.
So you are dead right, and you what you were saying, Tati, I believe is dead right, and exactly why it needs to be harder for young people to get married.
I like what Valerie had to say. The fact that the people with the lower percentage have higher education, which shows commitment.
Shows commitment. You're able to stick with something. You know how to fight for something and stick with something that's uncomfortable, but you know there's going to be a great end result. I agree.
I don't know. The old school generation got a lot of like middle school, high school dropouts, and they be staying in their relationships forever.
All those happy marriages you know of that people have been staying together that long? Tell me about all of them.
I didn't say nothing about happy.
Thank you. Tell me about all the happy people.
About commitment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Well, guess what? They're all realizing that they got married too late and they were too focused on commitment. And now they're 40 years later hating their lives and their partners and their spouses. All right. iHeartRadio world premiere. It's 3 Doors Down on Star 94.1. Jesse and Tati in the morning. Are we ready for an iHeartRadio world premiere right now?
You know, I think that it is about that time.
About that time.
We're at jesseandtati.com right now, and we're talking all kinds of important matters, and a world premiere would just kind of cut that a little.
I agree. This for the conversation we're having on our stream right now. Wow, this is going to be quite a difference.
This is a needed break. Let's reset the room. We're in Clubhouse right now. Let's reset the room. Let's shuffle around those that are on the stage. Okay.
All right, jesseandtati.com. Jump on our web stream, and we will enjoy this song together in iHeartRadio world premiere. It's new Maroon 5. It's called Beautiful Mistakes.
See?
Perfect song for this conversation. Beautiful Mistakes.
Thank you. It's perfect.
All right, let me get back into the comments here. I want to see what everyone's been saying. I love that.
So the money. So someone said something. I don't think. Oh, Jared. Wait, I bet the number one reason why people don't leave a divorce, they can't do it alone. Well, that one too. They don't want to be. The fear of starting over and being single again. I don't think it's losing money. It's stress over not having money, living life comfortably. So after watching Nomadland, I'm just going to tell you guys, I want to be in a loveful marriage, not a loveless one. So if I got to live in a van,
yeah,
I get to like Mama was a Rolling Stone and just go through different towns and bars and be like, hey,
enjoy life.
Watch out. Don't set me free because this birdie is wild.
You need to get locked up, huh? Is that what you're saying? You got to be dialed. You got to be locked in.
My cage is called Marvin, and I let him. We both have keys.
I love that. That's how I feel too. That's why, that's why I waited to get married. That's why I waited so long to get married. Because I was, dude, in my 20s, I had this kid who I was so focused on making sure that she ended up okay because she was in an interesting circumstance in life. And I was obsessed with it. And I was also obsessed with being great on the radio. And I really did not have any real estate at all to think about any female in that way. Natalie was in my life for a lot of those years. But I didn't even think of her in the right way at that time because I was already completely, my plate was full with adult things that I needed to handle the right way. And so once my career started turning and I started going, okay, I've worked hard enough in radio that I think I'll have a job in radio no matter what. Like I can calm down a little bit. I can kick back. I can find some life a little bit. And I was paying my bills. Okay, I'm paying my bills. Okay, that's working too. And I felt like those things started laying in, and it made me start looking at my relationship with Natalie different. And it started I started turning a corner a little bit of like, wow, the right thing to do, especially when it comes to what she wants, is to put a ring on her finger. But it took me a long time. And I tell you, I don't regret one. I got married at 35 to someone who I was with for like 7 years by that point, and I don't regret one moment of it. It's exactly how it should have played out for us, I think. I don't know. Feels good.
I think everyone needs to move at their speed. They need to move when they feel it. And sometimes if you feel it at 18, then you feel it at 18. And I don't know if we should be putting laws, but fees on, I think making it a little harder than to just get married like in a courthouse type of thing. Like
well, look at it this way, Tati. There's not the only difference between a home mortgage and a marriage, a legal on paper marriage, but the only difference is like the love part of that, right? But at the end of the day, they're still the exact same thing. There are lifetime contracts and commitments, right? So why is it the most giant pain in the ass ever to buy a home, with the amount of notaries and the papers and the information you have to give them about yourself and the financials and every part of your past and all these things they make you go through so that you can buy a home? But, oh, you want to marry somebody? We don't need one thing. Just take a piss test and bring $18 to the courthouse. It's really weird because they, to me, are similar leaps in life. You're taking quite a leap when you buy a house because now you are on the hook for a mortgage and you have to change your life sometimes to make sure that you can be reliable with that. And so marriage.
Yeah, but you could sell that house in a year if you wanted to. Like you could do. It's just like it is just like.
So then why is it so hard to get a house if you could sell it real easy, no big deal? How is it so hard to get in on that shit? Where marriage, you can get in on it no problem and get out of it no problem, just like that.
So maybe marriage should be like, and I think they should do this with having kids too. Though, is there's mandatory counseling. There's mandatory like Lamaze. You know how they do Lamaze? Lamaze shouldn't just be for the birth of the child and the pregnancy, and maybe the first year. It should be you going in as a parent and taking classes and certifications for, I think so. And, and just like marriage, the counseling, like, I watched Pablo and Jamie. Pablo's on one of our other stations too. And I used to work with him. And I watched the two of them go through marriage counseling before they got married. And I thought that was such a great idea because they learned their love languages. They learned how to communicate effectively. They learned how to look at both of their long-term goals and see where they're people are like, if they ain't on the same page as you, then leave. And it's like, well, maybe they're not right now, but you don't know in 5 years what that, you guys might end up on the same page. And maybe right now, one's like, I want babies right now. And the other person's like, nah, I can't see it happening. That could be something later. So I thought that the counseling that they did really laid a strong foundation for their marriage. Who knows, what happens later, but they did it right. I feel like, and that's how you should do it.
Yeah. It's definitely a gigantic decision. And you're proving my point again. It's like Pablo's another guy who's same age as us. And he clearly waited for a specific reason. And now that they decided to take that step because they're adults and are more responsible about other things in general, because that's how we get the older we get, they approached marriage from a very responsible way. Like you're saying, it's like, that's what I'm saying is that I don't know if 18-year-old us has the ability to even think like that. I don't know.
To marry every person. I know that sounds crazy, but like when I was really young, I just wanted to get married and but here's the thing. I didn't want to get married because I didn't want to get married because it was like, oh, that's the love of my life I'm with. I wanted to get married because I knew that being married meant I was starting. I thought it meant that it was starting my life away from my parents. And I think a lot of young people don't understand what a marriage really is. They just think it's a way out of being your parents' not property, but responsibility.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Totally.
So we just want to be with somebody where now we're both responsible for each other rather than someone over us. We both have equal say. We can talk about rather than a parent saying, this is my way, my house, my rules. You need to be a nurse, not a radio person, and I didn't want that anymore. I wanted to be able to make my own decisions. So that's why I thought, oh, marriage, I get a partner to figure this out with. But isn't that the beauty? Is to try and
look at it. It is if you weren't so liable. If you could get married in that way for those reasons, and then when it works out in 10 years, you just go your separate ways. Yes, it's a beautiful thing. But unfortunately, we in this country have turned everything into, I'm going to sue you. And so because of that, it's not that anymore. It's not a puppy dogs and ice cream thing anymore. It's
So Shelly's not married.
say what?
Shelly's not married.
Okay.
And there's no rush to the altar, is there, Shelly? And every time people say something like, but why?
Why is there no rush?
Yeah, why is it that there, because everyone tries to, when they see a couple that so cute, they try to impose the, did he pop the question yet? You know?
Right. And for us, the why is because neither of us are in a hurry for it. And we've also, within our relationship, if you think about it, we weren't even together a year when pandemic hit. We were together like, you know, so it was still like we were still learning each other and getting to know each other, and pandemic hit. And then he got transferred to Dallas. So for us, when it comes to that, we've had a lot of changes that we're sticking through. And the thing is too, is that it wouldn't be Oliver's first marriage. You know, he's been divorced. He married when he was 23, 24.
Does that make you feel a certain way?
No, not at all. Especially being from divorced parents and seeing both my parents get remarried and stuff like that. So it doesn't make me.
So okay, does it affect him though?
I'm not 100% sure if it affects him.
So that's interesting. I love what you're saying. He got married at 23, and now he's fast forward where he is now, and that decision he made at 23 is maybe not intentionally or in a big way, in a small way or whatever. It's existing in your future, the two of you.
Yeah, it is.
It exists. You know, so that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is we make so many lifetime decisions.
The thing is, though, is that my upbringing is existing in this too.
The what is?
My upbringing is existing in this as well. I also don't want to get married and the potential of failure with it, because
when did your parents get married? How old were they?
My dad was 25 and my mother was 21. So they were young, and my dad was going in as a Navy officer. And then, they obviously, so that's when, and then they divorced. My mom was 33, I think, when they got divorced. So
all the things you're saying lining right up with the stats I found, lining right, everything, you know, married at 23, 25, divorced by 33. Just like Tati said
too, is that this is just a different generation of marriages that are coming into play. And it's a lot of kids like me who went and watched their parents go through divorce and had to do the bouncing back and forth and had to literally witness all of that. So that, I think, is the other reason why the numbers are where they are. So I think that if you were to take the numbers of people between 20 and 25 getting married this day and age, would be far lower than they are from back then. So
I also think that everything happens for a reason. I do want to say that Jesse and I both have parents who stayed together for many, many years. And I'm not going to speak for Jesse, but I'll speak for myself. As sad as divorce is, I wanted my parents to divorce. So, you know, it's very weird because it's like people say, oh, you know, you want to have marriages that last a long time, but not every marriage is a safe environment for the children, even long. You know, people are like, oh, divorce is so bad for kids. Yeah, well, so are toxic marriages.
Yep.
Where people stay together. So I just feel like a lot of times our personal experience will definitely lend to what we do as adults when we see it happening. You know what I mean?
Totally.
We've been through what our parents do. And so Mel made a point here where she said, you know, for women wanting children, that's why there's the rush, right? That's why women, when we see someone, we see Shelly happy, we're like, ooh, like, because for us, it's a biological thing. We can't help it. Our bodies are just like, you know, when people say that ovaries are going to explode.
Yeah.
It really is just we feel this. And some women, and I will say this, some women don't feel that feeling. Some women don't.
Oh, for sure. Yes, for sure.
And people should back the fuck off when it comes to like making. Well, hurry up. You know, you can't have babies anymore. And it's like, well, what if I don't want a baby? Or what if I don't want it with him? Maybe he's cool, but I don't want to have kids with him. It's just not, to me, he doesn't seem like the type to raise a child the way I want it to be raised. You know what I mean? So, like, it's weird. There's a lot of factors to it. And I think that everyone should always feel comfortable with whatever their decision is, and no one should impose their own, this is what I did, you should do it too. It should be, this is what I did, take whatever you want from it, or don't, like.
And so I would say I come from a place where most of my adult life I did that thing where I told everybody, oh my gosh, it's so easy to get married at 18 and last forever. Look at my parents. My mom married my dad when she was 18 years old. He was 30, and look at them. They're amazing. I am a person who spent most of my adult life promoting how awesome it is to do that. Fast forward to when things ended between my mom and my dad. My mom basically had to beg me to be okay with her leaving that situation, because while I loved walking around very excited that my parents were still married, she was hating her life and wanted to get the F out. And once I realized, oh, maybe it wasn't as awesome and sweet and braggable of a marriage that I grew up watching. Maybe it wasn't that. Maybe I had no idea. Maybe I had no idea what was going on between my mom and my dad ever for any of those years. And when I realized she wanted to get the hell out, I actually wanted to talk her out of that idea. And then when I eventually realized that she was not going to listen and that there was a lot going on there, I had to back off and go, do your thing. All good. Sounds great. I support it all. Crazy.
You did what you always wanted and what your mother did for you. Exactly, Stephanie. An awesome mom. That is to just, and I think we all want that in life. We just want supportive people or parents, So I think when society says that you should stay married, or society says you shouldn't be divorced, or your society says you shouldn't get married at 18. You do what you're going to have to do and hope that people around you are supportive enough to say, whatever makes you happy, I support that. You know what I mean? And that's why it's like, I don't know, like I feel weird about the whole imposing instructions and counseling for sure for new couples who want to get married. I think once you get engaged, it's like, okay, in fact, they should have it at the ring shop.
Yeah, you have to sign up to get a ring. You have to sign up for your first class.
If you think about it, Jesse, it is, society even says even the ring has to be 3 months salary. So really to get married, right. There's all these traditions of what it should cost anyway. But I know what you meant with the license. They should make it harder lawfully. But I think we should just offer some counseling and some education, because I think that's what we need to have is some education into any decision we're going to make. We shouldn't.
Yeah, and I listen. This is what I hope comes with that education is, and it's almost like we need it for like across the board. We somewhere along the line, as we're trying to adjust the way we tell the history of our country. I also think it's important to share the same kind of information about the history of marriage in our country, and that it's not a societal norm that you need to graduate high school and figure out a game plan, but more importantly, find a husband and a wife, because that is something that's in our culture, in our society.
That's
and I think that
thing, for sure.
If we have the information to really understand what happens there and the end result to a lot of that and blah, 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 that to me is just as important information as if you have a baby and you go to Lamaze class and they're walking you through. Remember Lamaze class? And they were like, okay, in the hospital room, here's how it's going to go. Splat, yuck, yuck, yuck. And I remember going like, ah!
I took Lamaze. I remember it.
But what was the best part about that? When I went to the hospital and was in the room when I was surprised by nothing. I wasn't fainting on the floor because of all the crap that was happening in front of me. I was prepared and educated because the dang Lamaze class told me it was going to happen.
Well, side note, I took Lamaze twice. I have 3 kids. My very not a shocker there.
Your honesty is so dope. It's the best.
I thought I knew what the hell I was doing for one of them. But one of my Lamaze teachers, she had C-sections. And for some reason, she didn't teach that in the Lamaze class. So she prepared us for the gush and the snipping and the pushing and the breathing exercises and the focus on something. If you have to have music, walk around. She did all that, but she never talked about C-sections. When I had my C-section, I thought I was going to die. It was like,
it's the craziest thing ever. That's how Savannah was born. Hold on, I got to do my spot. Stand by, guys. Sorry. Or keep going. My mic's down.
Go.
So let's talk about maybe
you said my mic's down.
In and out, just in and out.
What they have to offer with Serene Mental Health Services. They've got professional anytime, anywhere at the convenience of your home therapy services. That's 7 days a week with easy access to therapists who can improve the quality of life if you're experiencing mental health issues. I'm someone who has always thought I've got it figured out. I have this under control. I'm all good. I can figure this out mentally. Guess what? I couldn't. I had to stop thinking like that because I wasn't feeling good about anything. And I realized it was because I was constantly thinking that I could just handle it. In fact, I went and saw a professional and I did it for 2 years. Once a week, it was great. I suggest it to everyone I know if you're struggling. And with Serene Health, they accept everything, private pay, all major insurances, Medi-Cal, Medicare. Just go to serenehealth.com or you can Google Serene Health for qualified professional therapists.
First question, I'm like, yeah, you guys can. We technically can't. No. It has been done before. Did you guys see Game Show Killer or Dating Game Killer? We're not trying to, sorry, not saying that.
Yeah, duh. Come on now.
Listen, Thor had the great idea we should find Edward a date. And I'm not saying Edward is going to do it. What I'm saying is us as radio personalities and public figures cannot do things like set people up because we don't want to be responsible when
it goes all bad. When they get married and then divorced after 3 years and he has to pay 15 years of alimony. Yep.
And then we get blamed because this was the stream that started it all. No. We're in California, guys. We know how this works.
Edward, you move to Arizona. We will find you a girl. No problem, bro.
Yeah. No problem at all.
Just kidding. All right, friends. Well, listen, great chat today. I love everything you guys had for us. We may bring some of your comments and stuff, especially you, Stephanie. Well, I loved all your comments. But thank you guys for sharing and letting us get into a deep conversation. Our streams won't always be like that. Oh, speaking of Friday, guys, Friday, we are going to detox our armpits. Don't forget. I have a cream that I'm bringing. So get your robe.
There's a cream.
Friday spa day. Are we really?
We're going back, guys. We're going back to spa day for Friday. Yeah, no, Natalie came out of the room the other day and she had her arms up like this, she's walking around. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, you have to put this cream on for 10 minutes so I can detox my armpits. I'm like, oh, I need that cream for the show.
Does it help your BO?
She's getting ready to go natural like you. I think she heard you talking about it on the air or something like that. And I guess to go to this natural deodorant she has to detox for 2 weeks from regular deodorant. And so she's been not wearing regular deodorant for like a week. And now she's using a special cream that's
where did you find a cream for this?
Dude, we should get her on to ask her what she Googles because she finds the weirdest stuff. I swear to God.
I think that like it's kind of counterproductive to use a lotion to detox your armpits. Like, what's in the lotion? Like, what's the chemical pulling out the stuff that's
I can't wait for Friday because we're going to educate ourselves so that we can give you guys an armpit detox.
I agree. Oliver, your boyfriend who's on right now, is very excited about Armpit Friday. So just to let you know, he's very
he's right in it, so he should be.
Edward needs a whole detox from this conversation, guys. This has been a long one for Edward. My bad, brother. Have a good one. Mel, we will make sure you're on Friday, or if you're not on Friday, I'll send you a picture of the thing. It's a little can of something, screw top lid. I don't know what it's called. I'll bring it in, okay?
Mel, you have to sweat.
Yeah. Love you guys. See you later. Oh, Steph, I love that. Yes, send that video to Tati. Perfect. Bye, friends. Talk to you on Friday.